Good morning, hope you enjoyed that dawn there. Welcome back inside the tent and welcome to this, the final day. I'm finishing today. It's actually going to happen. I'm going to make the whole 96 miles. Got to get into Fort William. It's about 12 miles away. It's going to be about a 3 or 4 hour walk. So we'll pack up soon and then we'll head off and we'll see what there is to see on the trail. And then at some point later on, or maybe on a later day this week, I'm going to jump back into the end of this video and tell you what I thought about the trail, my top tips, recommendations, best sandwiches. Well, I only had one sandwich, it's from the co-op. I wouldn't recommend that necessarily, but it felt pretty good at the time. But yeah, I'll give you all the goss on what's good to do on the West Highland Way, what I've enjoyed. I hope you've enjoyed getting to this point. If you have, like and subscribe. There's going to be lots more videos about Scotland in general on the channel after today, and there'll probably be a few more walks around the place. Some of my favourite walks around Edinburgh, some walks in the Cairngorms, they'll probably come up, but they won't be as regular. This is going to be a general channel about tourism in Scotland and things you can do if you're visiting it. That guy gasses on about his channel too much. Let's pack up and go. Well, that's the tent packed away for the last time. That's me zipped up for the last time, ready to go. Typically, I packed my waterproof jacket away because there was meant to be zero chance of rain. And what have we got? Misty rain. Misty rain I can cope with though without a jacket. So, got about 12 miles to do. Should be a nothing day. We're going to go up that way. In fact, I'll turn you around with me. Going to go up that way. Going to go over the watershed between this side and the other side of the pass. Then we've got quite a lot of coming down. We've got some forestry to go through. A little upward bit. Past the turn off for the hill fort. And then down. That is all through Glen Nevis, that last bit. Down, past the campsite turning and onto the main road. And the last 2 miles are actually on the main road. So, and even the high street through town. So, that should be a doddle. It's really only 10 miles of walking and most of it is downhill. So we'll see how quickly we can do it. But also, we'll see what we can see on the way. Now that I'm on the path and toddling along, I'll tell you about a little challenge I've set myself this morning. It's only 6:30, so I'm hoping to get into Fort William, celebrate, and then get straight down to a nice breakfast, a full Scottish breakfast, in a pub somewhere or a cafe before they stop serving them. I mean, they'll probably do me an all-day breakfast anyway, but a big morning one would be good after all of this. So let's see if we can do that. And here we are at the watershed. A watershed is where, when it rains, some of the water goes one way and some goes another. It goes down into different rivers. So let's turn around and have a look. So yep, this humpy lump here, you can see actually really visually from the electric lines going up and going down, or vice versa, depending on which way you look at it. So this lump here, all the water on this side will drain down towards Loch Leven, and all the water on this side will drain down straight towards Fort William and the sea. It will either turn right or turn left. I'm not quite sure which way the river flows, if it goes around the corner or if it naturally goes down. If it does, we'll get another watershed, but I think this is it for today. If you do like a watershed, I highly recommend walking from Blair Raffle up Glen Tilt and then through the Larig Grew. That way you get to go over 2 of them. And the most exciting one is there as well, the one where half the water on your walk will drain into the North Sea eventually, and half will drain into the Atlantic, or at least into the seas between the islands on the west of Scotland. Yeah, watersheds. That's enough hydrodynamics for one day. Well, unless we see a nice waterfall. Well, a few minutes further along and I've reached the other place I was thinking about staying last night, and I kind of didn't because I thought it would be a bit too much of a party, and I also thought the water source where I was better and that this one would be quite busy, but it's completely empty. Would you like a look? So you see, you can camp here. Sorry, it's windy again, isn't it? Oh, I really should have brought those wind mics after all. It's just I thought they wouldn't run on the battery. But yes, here we are. The ruined house that is quite famously in this glen. And there are lots and lots of little spots where people have camped around here in the past. And this one in particular is nicely set for not getting any sudden wet surprises of rain flowing down any hills in the middle of the night. I suspect that this house with the tree coming out the top has been used in the past as a toilet more than once. You really shouldn't stick your head in these places because the rocks can fall, and chimneys on your head are not the most pleasant thing, but I think I can stand at the window. Yeah, now I strongly suspect by the look of it that people have camped in there, and that is, as it says there, not a good idea. But yeah, there's your peek inside the ruined house. So yeah, there are a few pictures around it. I think where I camped was better though. I mean, you've got this very picturesque house and everything, but it's a bit fally down at the best of times. And also, the water source here isn't quite as nice. Pretty though, definitely pretty. So there was a camper at the house. They were in a little sheepfold just beyond. They're just packing up. There's a guy I'd run into yesterday and once previously on the trail. We had a little chat about how it was. He was saying it was quite windy, but that the walls had helped, which of course makes sense. This is the western side of the watershed. It was really windy for him, whereas me, tucked into the other side of the watershed, just beneath it, wind was all going over my head. Nothing blowing on my tent. Nice quiet night. So another good reason, assuming that the wind is in the west as it usually is, to camp that side of the watershed if you're camping. So now the West Highland Way fords this little burn that's a good 6 inches deep. You might be able to hop from rock to rock to rock. Or you could just take this footbridge, yes! This looks very recent. I celebrated a little bit early at the footbridge back there. I've had to ford about 4 or 5 streams of burns since then. I mean, they're not the deepest, but I'm glad I've got gaiters and dry boots today. Well, if you can see at the end of, I say the end of the glen, that part of the glen, it turns to the right. There is no other glen going off to the left, so all of the water is going down. There's no more watersheds. I bring this up not because I'm obsessed with watersheds, but because it's a sign of how little I've looked at the map. I normally look at the map loads on a walk, but the West Highland Way is so easy to follow. I've had the map out twice maybe, so like on day 2 I had to work out whether a forestry track was the right way or not, and I told you about those 2 tracks that were right next to each other. And then on another day, just before I got to Glencoe Mountain Resort, there was a couple who were slightly lost as to which footpath they should be on their day hike out from the mountain resort. So I put them right, but so that wasn't even for me. So yeah, barely looked at the map. So here we are, the bend in the glen, and that cairn back there marked 10 miles to go until we make it to the statue. Right then, starting to reach the first trees of the forest, and the forest will take us down for the last 6 miles or so until we reach civilization, and then 2 miles later the end. I need to stop talking like that, don't I? Otherwise every single clip that you have on this video will just be, and we're getting to the end. The end is coming. The end is nigh. So here we have a questionnaire and a questionnaire box, and you can fill it in, and you should fill it in to help improve the West Highland Way. It's apparently been put here by the Highland Council, though I'm starting to suspect it was actually put here by a gang of midges in order to provide them a perfect feeding ground. Ooh, scary dead bees. What the dead bees are on though is a quick map of where we're going, and there are 2 ways. You can sneak through this way to Fort William, but apparently we don't get to do that. We have to go this long way round. It's not fair. Add on those miles somewhere in Glencoe or something to make them more fun. Well, lucky us, we got a semi-steep incline and a tiny little watershed, but that's not why I got the camera out. Up there are some clouds, and I'm not sure if you can make it out, but in those clouds there's a mountain, and that mountain is Ben Nevis. When I last checked yesterday it was covered in snow and it looked very impressive. So let's hope the sun can keep doing its job, lift that cloud a bit, give us a view and anyone on top. A bit further on and we can see the whole bulk of it except the top. I know the wind is exceedingly light today, like 2 to 3 miles an hour. It's probably why I've seen a few more midges, but yeah, I'm worried we're not going to see the top of this. Which would be a shame to come all this way and not see the big mountain. Well, hello folks. You find me a few miles on from the signpost, huffing and puffing up the last bit of a forestry road. But I've just come off what I think is the last piece of path, and my goodness me, do not underestimate the last day of the West Highland Way. Once you come round that bend in the glen, it is on. Up, down, up, down, up, 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 up. Surprising amounts of up. I think I did have in my mind there was a little incline of 100 metres or so, but it feels so much more than that. But yeah, hopefully just on nice easy forestry road. What's made it so tricky is just like it's quite rough and rocky, shaly in places, not very fun on the feet. And just so whenever it goes up, it's only to come down until I think this point. I think this is where it literally is all down from here. I can see a sign for a path up to a fort. Well, that big mountain is still not playing ball. There is still a lot of cloud on the top. The path up it goes up the side of the smaller promontory there and then heads up. It's apparently quite an easy path for such a tall mountain because it was the way to an observatory. They built a road up there. But yes, Dunderdale Fort. If you head up there, you can visit it. And there's even a sign telling us what it once looked like. It looked hot. It was a place that was quite hot. We think it was built 2,000 years ago. It may have been occupied or rebuilt on several times throughout time. Pictish, Celtic, rampart construction, the night of the burning. We aren't sure, but we do know why they left. Fire destroyed it. Such intense heat that it melted the rock. Wow! And you can still see the layers up there. Well, that is lovely. And if I ever come up here, I will be marching up that hill to look at that fort. But right now, today, no. We are headed downhill towards a different thing. Braveheart! We're going to your car park! Oh, hello wind. I think the summit is just coming out of the clouds just at the right moment. There's no snow up here on this side, but it does make sense that the snow would be on the landward side rather than the seaward side where the wind comes from. So yes, when we saw it yesterday, the whole other side, the corries there were covered in snow, but yes, there is the summit of Ben Nevis. Got here just at the right moment. Look viewers, civilization. We have made it to the road. Goodbye paths. Oh, now some people would say don't come down this path, carry on to the Braveheart car park so you don't have to hurt your feet on the pavement. But I'm quite tired of forestry paths, and even better than that, if you come down here, there's a toilet at the visitor centre. Well, the toilets there are great, and I use the opportunity to put on my least stinky piece of clothing. I'm planning to buy a t-shirt in town and then use the showers, which apparently cost £3.50, I believe. Might be more by now, at the train station. But before that, we need to finish the West Highland Way. But that is the perfect way to not finish it too stinky and then head straight into the pub next door, smelling of West Highland Way. So yeah, useful place to go. Bit pricey. They didn't have a t-shirt that I felt was right. They only had one choice basically. Did buy a little patch to put on my denim jacket. Bit pricey at £5, but I'm sure it's cheaper in town somewhere. Just so you know though, they've got cold drinks, they've got coffee, they've got some basic bits and bobs, ice creams. You might want that little boost to get you the last 2 miles down the road, and it is 2 miles. Yeah, this road bit kind of sucks. It's not the walking. I actually quite like the walking. It's the close passing from the massive caravans, or grockle boxes as my friend Willie Scott is want to call them. Yeah. Also, I've seen the odd person pull out of a car park in a hired car and drive on the wrong side of the road. Tourism. Well, once upon a time, this would have been the end. And you can still go inside the Ben Nevis Highland Centre to pick up your certificate for a price. But now the ending has changed and you have to go all the way along the high street. So if you thought the commercialism that was nipping into the visitor centre and paying a little bit too much for a badge was commercial, the end of this will be too. But you know, people have got to make some money. The whole point of inventing things like the West Highland Way is tourism, and if those cattle and sheep roads are now being used to herd tourists like myself along, so be it. But all joking aside, it's a nice sign, right? I think my dad would have liked getting here if he'd got here. Well, I did stick my head in the Highland Centre or whatever it's called, and I wouldn't bother. I was hoping to find that t-shirt I'm still looking for. I've done the West Highland Way in my size. It seems like a simple thing with not the most horrendous design on it, but all I could see in there was the usual tourist town. I mean, Edinburgh Castle Rock. I mean, I've got to spend 4 hours getting back to Edinburgh. It's a shame, isn't it? Oh no, I've spent 7 days getting my A roads mixed up. I think every time I said A86 I should have said A82. Oh no, so I'm so sorry. Oh, finally, this is a little bit more relaxing than just that constant road. Go outdoors, seriously. I've been outdoors for a week. Okay, there's a very decent looking fish bar there. So, we are by the sea and you are in Scotland, have the chips. Look, there's the sea. Isn't that nice? And so we round the corner at the travel lodge and we find the man. There he is. Hello, mate. So there you have it. 2 men with very sore feet. And that is the end of West Highland Way. Well, thank you very much for joining me and my friend here on the West Highland Way. If you want to see more videos like this, do subscribe, do like the video. We'll be taking a tour around the rest of Scotland. We'll be looking at life in Edinburgh, where I live, and telling you some of the secrets of visiting there. So yeah, stick with Scotland, but overall I hope you've just enjoyed all the Highland Way videos, and we'll see you next time. And we'll see you too next time, man with the sore feet. Bye bye now.